What's going on, guys? Today I am going to bring you an interview that I did with Leezy the Gifted. Today we were talking about mindset for success and just really the thought process that you need to have and some of the things that you need to be putting into practice in order for you to succeed with your music career. Let's get right into it.
You know that we coming liars. I'ma keep praying to God. Tell those little niggas stop it. Tell my mama that I got this. You know that we coming liar.
What's going on, guys? It's Pimp Fried Rice. Welcome to the Music into Millions podcast, the show where we give independent rappers the tools and resources needed to be successful without waiting on a record label. What's going on today? I got Leezy the Gifted with me. What's going on, Leezy?
What's up, dude? Thanks a lot for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, definitely. So for those of you guys who do not know, Leezy is an artist. He is a producer. He also has a podcast. He is basically very similar to what I do, and he is a influential character when it comes to artists being successful on their own. He likes to help people basically reach their goal, just like we like to do on the Music into Millions family. So with that being said, Leezy, give us a little introduction, give us your background, kind of tell us who you are so the people who don't know.
Sure, man. It's good to be on here. First off, man, I appreciate your time. It's cool what you're doing too, and I appreciate that you're trying to give back value as well. I'm always vibing with that. So what I do is, I've been doing music for like 10 years, and I started out as just an artist for the first 7 years of my career. That's all I did. I was a songwriter and vocalist, and then I got to a point where I felt like I kind of had my back against the wall, and I couldn't continue to do music the way I wanted to. Like I couldn't control how often my music was going out or how it sounded. And so I started producing my own music, and then I got into producing just kind of for my friends and my circle. And then I was like, oh, maybe I could start making some money with this stuff. And I got into digital marketing, started doing that, ran sessions, mixed and mastered. And then I toured by Legion Beats and Anno Domini on how to like build an online business selling beats. And so now what I do is I sell beats online as well as coach rappers and producers. And I also, like you said, I have my own podcast called Music Mastery Podcast that I do every day. And so that's basically in a nutshell, everything I got going on.
Yeah, so as you guys can see, he is a very diverse man, but he's also doing a lot for the community to move it forward, which is another reason why I wanted to get you on here. That's super dope. So actually, we have a pretty similar background. I started off as a rapper about 10 years ago too. Same idea, ended up producing for friends and stuff like that, and then went into the beat selling world. And actually, I don't know if you know this, but we're in the Midi Money group together. That's actually how I was introduced.
Oh, you're in it?
Yeah.
So snap.
I definitely found you through that, and I was like, I really like your vibe and everything like that. I like your content, and that's why I was like, all right, I got to get you on here. All right.
That's cool, man. Thanks for telling me that. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely, bro. That's why when you started talking, I was like, yep, I was going to let him know because I didn't even know if you figured I was in there. All right, cool. So we're going to get right into the topic, which, like I said, is success mindset, which is something I obviously see that you have through your content, through the type of stuff that you put out, which is super dope. And I support anybody who has that type of mindset because we're trying to move the needle forward on our goals and get closer to them every day. Right. So basically, my first question is, what would you consider is like the most important trait that you need to have in order to be successful? Like if you had to count everything else out but one thing.
Wow. The most important?
The most important, yeah.
Oh my God. I would personally say the most important is you've got to be open-minded. I think open-mindedness is really underrated. Because when you're open-minded, like really, really open-minded, you're going to be open to learning and being exposed to anything. And there's so much information out there. And if you're an independent musician, you have to be ready to understand that if you're not going to have a record label, like you're basically starting by yourself, but you want to yield the results of a multi-million-dollar business. And what people don't get is that multi-million-dollar businesses aren't really built with just one person. It's like a whole team. So you have to be open-minded enough to say, I'm going to go read a book about copywriting. I'm going to go read a book about mindset on money. I'm going to read a book about the music. Like you have to be open-minded to accept and try new things too, which I think I think a lot of people lack open-mindedness because I don't know, they're just I don't know why, but that I think is, to me, that's what I think is the most important trait.
No, I definitely agree with that. And I feel like when you're open-minded, you just see so many more doors of opportunity that are open for you, because the people who are closed-minded and feel like, oh, I can only pursue one lane or I can only do one thing, they're very closed off to the potential that they can really reach. And so when you have that open mind, no, I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. Cool.
Yeah.
And I know you're talking about reading. Is there any books that you recommend? I didn't have this as a question, but I'm always big into people who
Yeah.
also read because I'm a huge reader. What are some books you recommend for mindset and stuff like that? Do you have any off the top of your head?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the number one book that I've read is called Relentless by Tim Grover.
Okay.
Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's trainer, and he also trained Kobe and Dwayne Wade. And the guy trained Michael Jordan. He was Michael Jordan's right hand man. And so reading his book is great, and it's basically from good to great to unstoppable. So it's a great book, very easy to read. Like it's very, very compelling. And if you're into how to grow an unstoppable mindset, that's really, to me, that's the book. I would also say in terms of money, depending on where you're at with it, the two books I'd recommend for that would probably be, I like the book You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. And then the other book is called Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins, who everybody probably knows. Those are the two
that book, but have not
money books.
finished it. It's way too big.
Oh, the
That
Tony
book
Robbins book?
Yeah, I have it. I got like, I think I'm like 200 pages into it, but it's like what, like 400 or 500 pages. It's
Like 600 pages. Yeah,
oh yeah, shit. It's
it's worth
ridiculous.
it's worth the read. I mean, I think I haven't read every money book, but I think it's got to be like one of the best ones out there. It's very good. So I would say
100%.
those are the three. And then, yeah, I would say because we're sticking to mindset for this one, I would say those are good mindset books.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a really good book that I read called The Magic of Thinking Big. That was like one of the first ones that I got into. And I feel like that also kind of covered on like the principle of being really open-minded to just different doors of opportunity and stuff like that. And
Right.
that was one of the ones that really catapulted my mind, because like I didn't really start getting into reading and stuff like that, I think, till like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Like I read as a kid, but never like books that actually moved me forward in life. It was more so just like fictional
Right.
shit. But yeah, that was one of the first books that just like blew my mind. It was like, I feel like I know where to go towards success now. You know what I mean? Like finally start walking in the right direction. All right, cool. So let's see.
Right.
If you had to go back to young Leezy and okay, say 10 years
Okay.
ago, 5 years ago.
I'm still young.
No, listen, I already know, man. I'm young too. I'm only 24. So listen, young Leezy,
Nice.
you go back 10 years and you're like, all right, bro, I have one thing I gotta say to you. What are you gonna tell young Leezy?
Like you said how many years ago?
10 years ago, like you're fresh rapper, fresh into this music stuff. How old were you 10 years ago?
So, well, 26 now. I'm about to be 27. I was 17.
Okay, yeah. So you're still super young, bro.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would tell myself, start making beats right now.
Okay.
Start making beats and right now. Yeah.
So
that's what I would tell. Yeah.
Okay.
Which do I like more? Oh,
yeah, beats or rapping. Beats or rapping.
I can't answer that because they're not different to me. It's all one thing. Like it's all making a song. Like, it depends on yeah, it to me is not I can't just I make music. Like it's not like
I feel
which
that.
part, you know what I mean? I mean, I can say which one's easier and harder, but I
Right.
can't really say which one I like more. But
Okay.
I started rapping, but yeah, I don't know. I like both. I like both. Too hard to say. That's a good question. I can't answer it. It's too hard.
Yeah. So
But I would definitely tell my 17-year-old self, start making beats. Like, don't start making beats, start mixing, mastering. Like, you're not going to make it if you have other people produce for you right now. So don't even waste your time. Don't even get into that. Like, just make your own beats.
Yeah, I think if I had to go back and tell myself anything, it would just honestly be consistent and don't be afraid of like something not working the first time. You know what I mean? Like those two things.
Oh, I like that.
Like, yeah, just because I feel like as a kid I was so tied to perfectionism and I was so like, oh no, I have to have the perfect product before I put it out. I missed a lot of opportunities and I missed a lot of just like put this song out for the raw, see what people think about it and just go from there. All right. So
Right.
as you know, as a reader, as someone who's also into success and everything like that, everyone has a different definition of what success is to them. What is
Right.
Leezy the Gifted's definition of success, and have you reached that point yet?
Yeah. Dude, that's a hell of a question. Wow, man. That's a great question. You know what's hella funny? I've done so many interviews. No one's ever asked me that. What's my
Hey.
definition? Well, actually, maybe, but just the way, I don't know. I don't remember someone asking me. So, my definition of success for me
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, not having a boss, um, not having a job, working for myself, owning my own business, employing people, making I have a certain amount of money that I personally want to make that I think is success, and not struggling financially, and waking up every day doing what I want to do and serving the people that I want to serve for the purpose I want to serve. So I would say that's my definition. That's like the 30,000-foot view of my definition of
Dope.
success.
Dope. I like that expression too, the 30,000-foot view. I fuck with that.
Yeah, because I can get more detailed with you about like specific amounts of money and cars and that, but that's, I think more of what you're asking is like, what's just my definition of success? And like for me, like that's what it is. And it's not necessarily getting signed to a label. It's not necessarily touring the world as an artist. I don't know if I want to do that, and I don't know. I'm not confident that I don't think I'm going to get signed to a label because I don't want to. So so it depends on. I don't even know if I want to only be an artist. Like I actually know for a fact that I don't want to just be an artist. Like I want to be
Dope.
an entrepreneur, and that's so different than what an artist is an employee of their business of the record label. I'm not an employee. I'm a CEO. So I'm trying to be in that. But I understand the responsibility that it takes. I don't say that I want to be a CEO to sound cool. Like I'm not trying to like flex and be, oh, I'm the CEO. No, dude, I feel like it's literally been my God-given destiny to like be that. And it's not like I feel
Dope.
good about it. It just is what it is. Like I feel scared. I'm afraid to be a CEO because I will have employees. That means that people's rent and food will be because of me. That's not like cool. That's just like, whoa, that's like that's a real responsibility. That's having people's lives in your hands. And I feel like
100%.
I don't feel like I have to do that. Like I feel like God is telling me to do that. And I'm not like a super religious person. So my definition of success is having that life, but like not freaking, being a bad leader, like being a great leader, being somebody who people want to depend on. Like I want to be that person that people go, yeah, he's reliable. He's a great CEO. He's a great leader. And he's somebody who I can depend on to put food on my table because I work for him and he's an amazing person. Like to me, that's success. Success isn't diamond chains and bad bitches all day, every day, popping bottles. That's not my definition of success. That's some other people's. It's not mine. So
Dope.
that's a little bit more detailed about what
Dope. I like
what I
that.
want to
I
do.
like that though. That was dope. So actually, based off what you said, I have a question coming up in a second, but I actually want to counteract the one thing you said, how you were talking about when
Sure.
you are an artist, you're basically an employee of a
Yeah.
record label. Well, one thing that I preach on the
Yeah.
Music in the Millions podcast and all the time in like my content and stuff is the fact that first off, in 2020 and beyond, you don't need a record label to be successful. You can see just as much success without that label. And in turn, if you actually look at yourself as a small business and as an artist, as an entrepreneur, and them being relative to each other, because if you think about it, when you're an artist, you have to set some type of budget and everything like that, right? Which would be just like if you had a business, you have to set budgets, you have to have everything like that. If you're an artist, you have a marketing campaign. When you have a business, you have a marketing campaign. You have basically stuff that you're selling. You have your target audience. You know, all this type of stuff that we learned basically in the MIDI money classes and everything like that. That all
Sure.
applies
Yeah.
just as much to being an independent artist as it does to being a business. So you don't have to, I feel like, as an artist, be a employee to a record label. You could actually be your own CEO and own your masters, put out the music, make as just much money as touring and merchandise and everything like that. I just had to get that
Yeah.
out there because that's the perspective
No,
that we
that's
preach on the
important.
Music in the Millions podcast. So,
That's
but
awesome.
yeah. No, okay. So based off of something that you said, how you actually said you were afraid to be a CEO. I like that you said that. And then based off of that, what is some of your biggest fears of success? Because a lot of times people just look at the positives. They look at like, oh, what is, your success? What do you want to do? What scares you about success? Is it just, what scares you? I'll let you get into it.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, I'll go a little deeper on what I was just previously saying, because that really is it. I'm, I don't have responsibilities really right now. I'm not married. I don't have children, and like, I don't have employees right now. So I'm in a good spot. Like, I should be like super thankful for that, because, yeah, I'm just really, I'm super afraid to, and I already put enough pressure on myself, and I'm afraid to have to wake up every day and go, damn, dude, like, if I don't figure this out, like, so-and-so won't be able to pay their rent, or so-and-so won't be able to feed their kids. That's really scary, bro. Like, that I have to not just, I'm a father to your kids as much as you're a father to your kids. Like, that's what it means to be a CEO, because it's the fact. And I'm afraid to have that. And I'm afraid again to have kids, because then I'm a father to my own kids too.
Right.
And like, if I don't feed my own kids, like, that's no bueno. So like, that's the stuff I'm afraid of. I used to be really afraid of not succeeding. Like, that used to be my number one biggest fear, was failure. And I'm like, well, it's not even a reality. So I'm not afraid of that anymore. You kind of have to upgrade what you're afraid of. Like, if you're afraid of failure, that means that that's like a reality. And that's, to me, not a reality. Like, to me, a reality is what I just said. And so, yeah, I mean, that's, I would say that's definitely more of what I'm afraid of than anything else. Yeah, I would say that's it.
No, that's definitely an interesting answer. I like that. But yeah, no, just the fact that like, when you are in that position of having employees under you, like, you're basically responsible for other people's lives. And the fact that you said like, you're just as much a father to their kid, that was pretty funny to me. I'm not gonna lie. But
No, thank you.
But I see what you're saying at that point. All right, so yeah, that was pretty much everything I wanted to talk to you about in this interview about success mindset and everything like that.
All
so
right.
if you want, shout out where people can find you and all your stuff like that, and then we'll end it out from here.
Sure. Sure. So you can go to my Instagram at Leezy the Gifted. My YouTube channel is super active too. You can go there. Leezy the Gifted. Music Mastery Podcast is the podcast I put out every day. I'd say those are probably the 3 best places to get at me.
Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate having you on this episode, and I appreciate you giving us some great tips and information about how to have a success mindset.
Thanks, man. Good to be on the episode.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed that interview that we did with Leezy. Super packed full of gems, super great information. Hopefully you guys got some awesome tips in there as well that had to do with mindset and success and everything like that. If you got some great tips, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. We are trying to get close to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and by you joining the family, that just gets us that much closer. So with that being said, guys, I'll catch you on Wednesday. Peace.